Out here in my little practice area this morning, just killing some time during home quarantine and practicing some knife skills. Just kind of made a tri-stick, and the knife I used today is this Walmart $3.87 utility knife, which I've had for about a year at least, and I've been using it on the job. It's got paint on it. I've opened paint cans with the screwdriver blade. So today was kind of a marathon session with it. Put it through a lot of work carving this tri-stick. And so what happened to the knife? Well, for one thing, we've got some side-to-side play going on with the blade here. See that? The other thing that happened is one of the scales fell off. It's laying over there on the ground out of my reach, but interestingly, they're only glued on. Just some kind of a dab of glue was holding these on, and then it just suddenly failed and started slipping in my hand, so I took it off. I talked about this knife earlier in my knife sharpening video. It's taken and held a surprisingly good edge. It's still quite sharp, and there was no slipping with the carving. It had good bite. I didn't notice the play in use. I'm really pretty surprised that for a sub $4 utility knife that it's held up as long as it has for a year now. I thought sure it would fail and go to hell in the handbasket. I've said before that I kind of have this idea in my head that any knife will do if you will do, borrowing from the motto of Front Sight. But what I'm saying by that is that at the end of the day, it's your skills, what you know, and your abilities with a knife that determine what that knife can do. Yes, quality is important. Quality is always desirable, but it's what you bring to the party that is what determines what the knife can do. Kind of like the Bushido approach. During World War II, one of the problems with beating the Japanese was that they had such a sense of warrior mentality. They saw their weapons as ancillary to their abilities. They saw themselves first and foremost as the weapon, as the warrior, and the knife, the gun, the rifle, the bayonet as just items that help facilitate their abilities as a warrior. And that's why they were so darn hard to beat. They just had that warrior mentality. And I look at it the same way with a knife. What skills you have that you practice, do you get out there and do you practice with your knife and learn these skills? And the better you get, the less apt you are to cut yourself and to turn out good products when you're wood crafting. It's all on you, your skills. So you, if your skills are good enough, should be able to make a cheap knife sing. Again, not saying don't buy quality. Absolutely. If you can buy quality and afford a good Swiss Army knife, do it. Can't go wrong. I do think that a knife like this might be useful for teaching a beginner or a youth, and then moving them on to a good quality knife later. Could be a good beginner knife. A good understudy. If I want to conserve my Swiss Army knife, I have a Spartan, and I have a Hofritz with a locking blade. If I want to conserve those, I can use this cheap, inexpensive knife for practice on my skills. And one of the big things with this, it's a slip joint, and it doesn't lock, so you have to plan your cuts carefully that this doesn't fold on your hand. So it's all about safety, all about learning. But anyway, sub $4 Walmart knife. Thinking, not sure what to put this scale back on with that'll adhere really well. Gorilla Glue, but that kind of puffs up and expands. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, folks, in the comments, what glue you might use to re-adhere this. So feel free to share. I'd also like to hear your thoughts about carving and using a friction blade, slip joint. Do you think it's good practice? Do you not? Great little awl. I sharpened it up a little bit, and it allowed me to get a hole in here, and then I was able to square up my notch. So anyway, there you have it. $3.87 Walmart knife. Takes a beating. Talk to you later.